In 1935, in the mountains of Guadarrama, Spain, there is a crash that inspires this painting. Interesting, right? But this is not just some random painting of a car crash. No. This is a portrait, a self portrait. But you know what's really shocking? With this painting, this man predicted how he was going to end up dead. This man was Alfonso Ponce de Leon, a young, talented Spanish artist. He came from money, so he studied fine arts. You've probably haven't heard a lot of him because he died really young, but he was super close friends with people like Salvador Dalí, Luis Buñuel, Remedios Varo, that whole scene. He was into the new art movements coming from Europe, especially magic realism. But what is magic realism, you might ask? Well, if you've seen any of these movies, you'll get what it is. If not, it's when supernatural things are treated as completely normal in a story, unlike fantasy that creates a whole new world with its own rules, or surrealism that makes it feel like a dream or distortion of reality. And Alfonso loved that blend of magic realism with surrealism. Let's look at the painting. At first glance, it's just a regular car crash, right? But the longer you stare, the stranger it gets. His car crashed through a fence, so he got thrown out and hit his head on a rock. It's nighttime, we can tell because it's dark, and the only light comes from the car's headlight. But wait, do you notice how his legs just disappear? Where's the rest of him? Also, have you seen his face? He seems strangely calm for someone who just crashed.
Yeah, I just hit a rock with my face, but let me pose real quick.
His hair is in place and his suit has almost no wrinkles. Honestly, he doesn't look like someone who just crashed. But something that I find super interesting is this broken sign next to him. It says Se prohíbe. Probably Se prohíbe el paso. No trespassing in Spanish. But the timing is eerie. You see, at the time this painting was exhibited, Spain was heading into one of its darkest times, the Civil War. People, ideas, politics, everything became censored, forbidden, depending on what side you were on. And Alfonso was a member of Falange Española, a far-right movement. This didn't stop him from being friends and working with Republican people like Luis Buñuel or Federico García Lorca, one of the most important and well-known poets of Spain. Despite his Republican friends, being part of the opposite political movement made him a target when things got really serious. This is the one and only painting he shows at the National Exhibition of Fine Arts in 1936 in Madrid. When Alfonso first showed this painting, he called it self-portrait. He then changed it to accident, but in the end he kept both, self-portrait, accident, since he couldn't decide which one it really was. What he didn't know was that 3 months later, after this exhibition, he will actually be in this exact position, but for real this time. On September 20th, 1936, Alfonso and his wife, Margarita, get home and see some men lurking outside their door. They're Republican paramilitaries, and they're coming for him to interrogate him. They want names. So they haul him off to the Fomento Checa, a unit detention center, where they torture and finally kill him. 9 days later, on September 29th, his body was found dumped in a ditch in Vicálvaro, just outside Madrid. He had just turned 30 a few weeks before, on September 10th. Today, Alfonso is buried at Almudena Cemetery in Madrid, and if you ever want to see this painting in person, you can find it at the Reina Sofia Museum. It's in its permanent collection. Once you know the full story, this isn't just a painting of a car accident. It becomes something way more disturbing. It's the actual proof that a young artist somehow painted his own death.